Next change, Vivian here. I'm going to talk a little bit about bending over backwards in relationships. And the one thing I'm going to say about it is don't do it. So you find yourself in a relationship and everything seems like it's going well or not. And in a relationship, there should be equality and equity. That means that both of you are really meeting each other halfway. You know, there might be some things that you need to tweak. They might find they need to tweak a little bit. You might need to tweak a little bit just because it's two personalities coming together to mesh together. But what I want to say is don't bend over backwards in relationships. Stop doing that. If you're bending over backwards in a relationship to make it work, it's probably not the relationship that you should be in. Not to say that all relationships are smooth, because they're not. Again, it's two personalities coming together. The honeymoon stage wears off, and now you have two people, right? And they're going to start to being shown in their true light. So all that, you know, the facade and the extra nice and the stuff that happens in the beginning of relationships begins to fall away. And now here you are. And if you find that you're the person, you're conceding to everything, you know, you're trying to make someone like you, you're trying to make someone accept you, you're giving up all the things that you like, you're trying to conform to everything they want, until finally you're like, I'm bending over backwards for this person. You should never bend over backwards for someone in a relationship. Let them go. Just let them move on. That is not the relationship. Again, if you bend over backwards now, you're not going to stop bending. It's only going to get worse. So when you're in relationships, just show people who you really are when you're in relationships. Show them your true self and see what happens. Because you're going to need to be accepted for who you are. You know, you're going to need to be, and usually when you're bending over backwards, you're not really being who you are. That's why it's so tough, and that's why it's so hard, and you're so busy trying to appease and placate them. There's no contentment and satisfaction and enjoyment in the relationship for you, and you find out the whole relationship is that you trying to meet their needs and your needs being unmet. That's a very unbalanced relationship, and it's really unhealthy for you. So stop bending over backwards in relationships. Be yourself. Let people know what your boundaries are. Let people know what you want and what your expectations in a relationship are. Not necessarily what your expectations are personally for them, because your expectations are your own. They're your own brand. They're your own generic way of being in a relationship. So both of you should know each other's expectations. And if one or the other cannot meet those expectations or is not willing to meet those expectations, bending over backwards will never be enough. And in the end, what you will do is you'll resent the person. You'll resent yourself. Your self-esteem will lower. Your dignity will fly out the window. And you will find out that you will become a doormat. So again, if you're bending over backwards in a relationship, you need to take your body up and you need to move forward and you need to stand upward. And you need to stand for what you believe and let people know what you want. And if that's not it, and they're willing to expect so much more from you than that they are willing to give, then it's time to go. Remember, there are so many people in this world that are for you, that you would never have to do the acrobatics of bending over backwards, that they will love you and they will accept you, and you will find joy and bliss in a relationship. This is Vivian from Next to Change. See you later.